Welcome back, friends. Thank you for coming back and joining me. I am Mrs. Marion, and this is video number 7. This will be the final video concluding the reading of our book that we've been reading. Dream It, Believe It, Manatee Patty by Jenny Rose. Also, Sparky and Biscuit are still near those. Remember, those are my 2 dogs. Biscuit is sitting right here with me. Can you see him? He's sitting right here in my lap. Like many of your dogs, I'm sure, they like to sit near. But if you look over here, there is Sparky. He's laying in the floor, not very far from me. So they are still with us. Let's get started. I'm excited to see how this is going to end. But like any great book, I'm always kind of sad when a book that I'm really enjoying is done because I always want a little more. Chapter 13. As Dr. and Mrs. Manatee Patty, and Bobby head to the restaurant, everyone is quiet, deep in thought. Dad is checking off his car-related to-do list in his head. Car service, new tires purchased, front end aligned, battery checked, weather radio, and blankets in the trunk. Mom is concerned about the winter weather they might encounter on their way to Wyoming and tries to recall if she has packed everything on her list: coats, gloves, scarves, and sweaters. It's hard to think about when you are used to living in Florida. Bobby's thoughts are his good fortune in finding and captivating a friend like Manatee Patty. And finally, the corners of Manatee Patty's mouth turn up as she replays today's surprise party in her head. When she thinks about Bobby's homemade card, her heart skips a beat. Then all of a sudden, the silence is broken. Manatee Patty breaks the silence. I can't believe we're leaving tomorrow. Over 8 years in one amazing tropical paradise, and poof, I'm being tossed into a winter wonderland like a supersonic snowball. Mom responded empathetically. It's hard to believe. Bradenton has been such a significant part of our lives for so many years. We'll be forever grateful for the experiences we've had here. Manatee Patty pointed out, I guess you could say I'll be substituting Old Faithful for a couple of wonderful years I spent with old Snooty. I really miss him. Dad added, we all do, Manatee Patty. During your short lifetime, you have witnessed great strides being made in keeping our manatees safe. They are off the endangered species list due to our tireless efforts in Florida. You're so right, Dad. My dream has always been to do my part to protect wildlife and keep our world beautiful. The manatee will always be my favorite species, and Bradenton will always be my favorite city. I suppose I'll have to branch out and learn as much as I can about the wildlife with other locations of the world. So I'll be ready to join Aunt Braley someday. How does Manatee Patty, Global Explorer, sound? Bobby chimed in. I think you're on the right path to greatness. Whatever that might be, Manatee Patty. You already know more about the endangered species in the world than about 99% of kids our age. You know almost as much as I do. Just kidding. Mrs. Mann chuckled and said, oh, young scientist. Let's head inside and order our dinner. Yes, your mom's right, Dad added. We need to eat and get a good night's rest before we embark on our big journey early in the morning. Yep, it's only going to be a 2,270-mile trip, Mom pointed out. Leave it to our Manatee Patty to check on our exact mileage. We also need to leave early because Cody is expecting several more inches of snow by the time we arrive. It might take longer than we anticipate. Knowing you, I'm sure you packed your dream catchers, Bobby said. You can have beautiful dreams all the way to Cody. Did you say your Aunt Braley is going to Antarctica? You might start dreaming about colder temperatures and penguins instead of wildlife of Africa, Manatee Patty quipped. Sounds like an utterly chilling idea to me, Bobby. After an enjoyable dinner, the Mans take Bobby home and say goodbye to the Daytons. They promise to stay in touch. What good fortune for Manatee Patty that Bobby moved from Tampa to Bradenton. A boy who suddenly lost the use of his legs in an accident continues to bring joy and inspiration to everyone he meets with his wit, intelligence, kind heart, and the glasses half full attitude. At 5 o'clock the next morning, the Mans climb into their car to begin their long journey to Cody, Wyoming. Just as they start to close their doors, they see Papa Cheeto heading their way with a gift. Tears of sadness and joy dampen Manatee Patty's face after she opens Papa Cheeto's present. Oh, Papa Cheeto, this is the most wonderful dream catcher in the world. Where did you find this? I made this one myself, Manatee Patty. The arrowhead was given to me by my cousin who lives near Yellowstone. Please go ahead and read the card aloud to your parents. Dear Manatee Patty, I hope you enjoy your new dream catcher. My goal was to create a dream catcher depicting Yellowstone. The green feather represents evergreens, and the white ones represent the snow. The wolves are represented by the gray feathers, and the dark brown feathers are for the grizzlies, elk, and buffalo. The light brown feathers represent the bobcats, cougars, and coyotes, and the shades of blue represent the streams. Most importantly, the red feather in the center of the feathers represents you in my life. You are always in my heart. Dad said, you have made our daughter so happy, Cheeto. What a thoughtful gift. Maggie and I know she'll always treasure it. Cheeto added, please let me know when you arrive. I'll be praying for a safe trip. Mom said, thank you, we will. Please come to see us soon. You know I'll make you some of my famous blueberry muffins. You know, I'd drive anywhere for some Maggie Mann's marvelous muffins. With rivers of tears streaming down her face, Manatee Patty cried, I'll miss you, Papa Cheeto. During their journey, Manatee Patty has ample time to try out her new dream catcher and write in her journal. Along the way, she dreams about her beloved manatees and some of Aunt Braley's favorite African wildlife. Look at this photograph by Gregory Sweeney. It's a baby manatee. Aren't baby anything just so cute? But baby manatees are especially cute, aren't they? Here's a Cape Buffalo by Pat McMillan. And here's a lilac-breasted roller, again by Pat McMillan. Beautiful, beautiful bird. Wow, amazing photographs. Here is Mount Kilimanjaro and Zebra by Pat McMillan. Look, there's Mount Kilimanjaro in the background. Do you see that? Wonder if you know anyone who's ever been there. You might ask people. Have you asked your parents if they know anyone that's been there to Mount Kilimanjaro? Here is a Southern White Rhinoceros by Pat McMillan. Chapter 14. After a 4-day journey, the Mans arrived safely in Cody at about dusk. As they pulled into the driveway of their new home and opened the car doors, it is eerily quiet outside. Mother Nature has greeted this transplanted Florida family with a blanket of snow. Manatee Patty is confident this must be a dream, and she's in Antarctica. When she steps onto the driveway, the crunch of the snow breaks the silence, and the air smells clean and fresh. In the distance, she notices pine trees with bowed branches dressed in snow. The roof of the house reminds her of icing atop a gingerbread house. After her dad unlocks the front door, Manatee Patty crosses the threshold of her new home and peers into the living room. The fireplace is made of majestic stone and should certainly keep their house toasty. The place reminds her of living quarters common in a ski lodge with its massive furniture, bold colors, and a high-beamed ceiling. Although Manatee Patty wants to explore her surroundings further, she vows to get a good night's rest so she can begin unpacking her belongings the next morning. Manatee Patty enters her new bedroom, flips on the light, and pulls back the drapes. Instead of getting ready for bed as planned, she begins to watch snowflakes pattern her bedroom window and listens to the wind faintly whistle in the winter wonderland behind their house. Trembling with awareness and fatigue, her past life seems to have drifted out through the chimneys in their new home. Fortunately, her mom drops in to check on her. Mom assured her, "Here, my Manatee Patty, it's okay. Let's dry your tears. I think you need a hug." She then notices her husband in the hallway and said, "Oh, come on in, Chris." Sobbing, Manatee Patty bellowed, "I can't believe we've traded sandy beaches and gentle ocean breezes for 10 inches of snow and howling wind. I keep watching the snow fall outside my bedroom window, and all I can do is cry." Mom consoles her. "You know, honey, life can be full of so many changes, but new experiences allow us to grow into so many ways. I promise it will get easier." "Your mom's right," Dad said. "Changing locations, climates, schools, and jobs might be difficult at first, but once we get into a routine, we'll discover the wonderful life awaiting us. When the weather improves, we'll explore Yellowstone. It's been a while. It's been a while since we were up here. During the summer, you can get involved in some of the wildlife programs for students. Your passion regarding the protection of wildlife and conserving our landscape will continue to grow. Also, we'll research locations for photography classes. Won't that be fun?" Mom interrupted. "Sorry, my cell phone's ringing," and she steps out into the hallway. "It's Papa Cheeto calling for you, honey. You go ahead and visit with him. Your dad and I need to unpack a few things in the kitchen before we go to bed." "Thanks, Mom." "Hi, Papa Cheeto. It's wonderful to hear your voice. We miss you so much. My tears have been falling almost as fast as the snowfall outside." Papa Cheeto said, "I'm sorry to hear that. You'll begin adjusting before you know it. What do you think of your new place?" Manatee Patty answered, "The house is larger and my bedroom is a little bigger than my old one. Luckily, we have a gigantic fireplace. I can't believe how wintry it is outside. This must be what Antarctica looks and feels like." Papa Cheeto responded, "Speaking of wintry, remember the story I told you about my Muskogee Creek ancestors walking the Trail of Tears?" "Yes, Papa Cheeto, I understand why they call it the Trail of Tears. It makes me cry every time I think about it. One of my cousins came to see me the other day and brought me a surprise. When she was looking through some of my mom's keepsakes, she's discovered an old tattered journal. Years and years ago, a family member interviewed one of our ancestors, Haseola. Her name means rising sun in the Muskogee Creek language. I just read a passage in one of the interviews describing the freezing temperatures and deep snow he encountered on his walk to the Indian Territory so many years ago. He said he sat down to rest in numbing temperatures with a tattered blanket as an attempt to keep warm. Just when he began to worry and feel sorry for himself, he looked toward the heavens and discovered a full moon trying to make itself known as Haseola. To his surprise, he looked toward the west, identified beauty in the uniqueness of the snowflakes, and somehow felt at peace. He prayed, stood up, and kept moving forward, not knowing what tomorrow might bring or what he might find at the end of his journey. He said that he wasn't certain if it were the tears streaming down his cheeks, the snowflakes hitting them, or both, but he felt God heard him. He was thankful, and a sense of peace wrapped around him, warming his body and his soul. I think Haseola was rising up like the sun, just like his name. Oh, I would have loved to have met Haseola. Me too, Manatee Patty, me too. But I'm getting to meet him in a sense through interviews in the journal. You see, he was afraid to embark on a difficult journey, but he didn't give up. You, like Haseola, are strong-spirited too. You and your parents are charting new territory as well, with so many dreams to fulfill. I'm certain you will forge ahead and become stronger from this experience. Thanks for the wonderful story, Papa Cheeto. Luckily, my dad's job will only take 2 years, and then I'll return to you and the land of our manatees. By the way, my parents gave me a new journal. I'm starting to jot down my thoughts and dreams. I'll let you read it sometime. Well, I'd better go now. I got to unpack a few things before I go to bed. I start school on Monday. It was so great talking to you. Come to see us soon, Papa Cheeto added. Remember when I told you that I had a cousin who lives in Idaho? He's the one who gave me the arrowhead I put on your new dream catcher. I might just come up and surprise you and your folks this summer and spend a little time with him, too. Manatee Patty proclaimed, Wow, that would be awesome. Thanks again for calling. I can't wait until you come to see us. Mom called out, Manatee Patty, you have a visitor at the door. Manatee Patty teased. Bobby said he'd try to come to see me, but this is pretty fast. A girl hidden deep inside a parka said, "Hi, I'm your new next door neighbor, Peyton Lee. I heard you are in the third grade too. My mom and I made some sugar cookies shaped like manatees." Somewhat puzzled, Manatee Patty replied, "They're so adorable. But how did you know I like manatees?" Smiling, Peyton said, "My dad will be working for your dad in Yellowstone. We also just moved here. Your dad told my dad you love manatees. They fascinate me too. Maybe we can get together sometime tomorrow." "Oh, thanks, Peyton. I'd like that. It was awesome meeting you. See you tomorrow." Manatee Patty enters the living room with a sparkle in her eyes, a bounce in her step, and a grin on her face. She exclaimed, "Oh, Mom and Dad, Peyton Lee is so nice. It sounds like we will get to be the new kids on the block together. Wow, I feel like I've been riding on a roller coaster of emotions this evening. I'm so exhausted. I'm going to get ready for bed and write in my journal." Dad said, "Good night, sweetheart." And as always, Mom added, "I'm confident you'll have beautiful dreams, my Manatee Patty." After her parents leave her warm room, Manatee Patty turns over in her bed as the frigid snow increases outside. She clutches her treasured dream catchers and drifts off into a deep sleep. She's dreaming she's with her mom, Dad, Aunt Braley, Papa Cheeto, Bobby, and her new friend Peyton. They are exploring and photographing the wildlife and sights of Yellowstone National Park in Antarctica. New adventures always await Manatee Patty in her dreams and in her life. Look here at this beautiful penguin, another beautiful photograph by Pat McMillan. Here's a sunset. That's a beautiful sunset. Look at that orange sky. Isn't that gorgeous? And there's a leopard in a tree here. I think I see him right there. Here's another gorgeous sunset. Stunning. Wow. And here is a picture of our author, Jenny Rose. And Jenny Rose was an educator for more than 3 decades, teaching students ranging from kindergarten to the university level. Wow. Her love of children, reading, environmental science, and her Native American ancestors is revealed in the book Dream It, Believe It, Manatee Patty. Jenny's commitment to wildlife protection and conservation of our environment is much like Manatee Patty's. Mr. Timberlake's classroom and the Manatee Elementary Science Club are based on lessons she taught as an elementary teacher and an environmental science club sponsor. As a grant writer, she was invited to evaluate materials for the North American Association for Environmental Education. During her tenure, awards were presented to Will Rogers Elementary in Edmond from the local, state, and national level. Cheeto Kyle, the Native American storyteller, in the book mirrors the great storytellers in her life as a child. Her maternal grandfather and paternal grandmother, also one of her Muskogee Creek ancestors, was orphaned on the Trail of Tears, a tragic story that was passed down for generations in her mother's family. In addition to writing, Jenny enjoys spending time with her family and traveling throughout the United States and Europe with her husband. Her faith, family, and friends are invaluable. Now here's Pat McMillan. Pat, she was the one that took a lot of the photographs. Pat McMillan has always been interested in wildlife and dreamed of working in Antarctica and becoming a marine biologist. She has worked with computers and in a marine ecology lab and finally in Antarctica. While stationed there, Pat began her photographic interest in wildlife. Her enjoyment of photography has since become a passion. Following her retirement, she has been taking photographs of animals and landscapes in some of the most beautiful places in our world. Seeing animals in natural habitats around the world has provided Pat with some of the most memorable experiences in her life. She hopes that you enjoy her photos as much as she did taking them. Manatee Patty is fairly loosely based on her life. She never lived in Florida nor knew all those manatee facts as a child. However, most importantly, she believes that dreams can come true. And then this is Debbie Humphrey, who's the artist, of the beautiful dream catchers that we've seen in the cover of the book. Debbie Humphrey, is an artist, illustrator, and Oklahoma Indian Missionary Conference pastor and a member of the United Methodist Women at the Stillwell Indian Mission United Church in Stillwell, Oklahoma. Reverend Humphrey is a self-taught artist who loves to draw and wood burn. And as a child of a Choctaw father and Cherokee and Irish mother, Debbie embraces her Native American heritage and her gifts with others. As a child, Debbie observed her father creating beautiful drawings in Native American crafts. Flint knapping, the age-old art of making arrowheads and other edged stone tools, was his preferred medium. Throughout the years, his art triggered a unique voice and tradition from his Native American ancestors. Davy feels that her heavenly father and her earthly father have blessed and nurtured her artistic talent, thus allowing the culture and tradition of her ancestors to continue. And there's another gorgeous illustration by her, the dream catcher. So that's a little bit about the author, the photojournalist of all the pictures that you saw in the book, and the illustrator. So I hope you enjoyed that as well. I hope you've enjoyed this book. I have so enjoyed reading it to you. I hope you have a wonderful summer, a wonderful break. I look forward to seeing you all soon. I miss seeing you all this spring, but it was great to come together for a little bit and read a great book together. Bye, friends.